Welcome back to the channel. This is Naz. I'm doing an evaluation on this, a review for Mobile Suit Gundam. You know what I'm saying? So, first thing is first. This vertical release, Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, is pretty much a reimagination. In a sense, uh, they redid this after the anime aired back in 1979. I think it was 1979. Correct me if I'm wrong. But after that, they decided, I think for its 20th anniversary, to redo the whole story in actually manga form. And that is where we begin our story today. So yeah, stay tuned. Subscribe and like if you have not before. You know what I mean? This is where we sit down, we hang out, talk about manga, express. Sometimes we invite the Hangjutsu signs, and that's how we roll. Okay. So a lot of time when people talk about this manga, they always mention the quality of the release and how Vertical has done a great job in this hardcover. Uh, no other manga really has, besides the JoJo's and the most recent releases, has got a treatment like this before. So that's what people mention as always, kind of like that's the only thing that this manga has going for. Well, no, that's not the case. Yes, the cover and the quality of it is uh, outstanding and it's something to always praise, but the content in here is always is overshadowed, perhaps, when people mention the quality of the manga. So I just thought that, yeah, let's not overshadow the content by saying something about the outward appearance of the book, when the quality of this manga and the conflict and the topic that it actually explores, kind of war, space, and the dramatization of that story in this format, uh, the level it achieves and the franchise that it gives birth to after the fact is something that is way above the quality of the release. So that's just something that I wanted to point out. But man, look at this image right here. That. So Mobile Suit Gundam, if you're not familiar with the story, kind of begins after humanity has been traveling, going into space, and big cylinders that house humanity, that has ecosystem, that has land, is all over the place, orbiting Earth, and people have been mass deporting to outer space. And now the story begins after Side 3, I think the furthest colony away from Earth, declares itself the Principality of Xi'an. And that principality wages war on Earth to gain independence from the Earth Federation. And a lot of the conflict that most of the Mobile Suit Gundam, the basis, the initial spark of that conflict is from a planet like Mars, or a colony that is further away, deciding to take independence from the Earth Federation, because these colonies were sent out by Earth. Thus, kind of giving you that idea of the motherland imposing its politics on an offshore space colony that doesn't want to be governed by, that wants to be self-sufficient in a sense. And so, considering that the Principality of Xi'an waged this war to gain independence, and both sides fighting in a span of, I guess, a few months, half of humanity's population dead. So yeah, so the space war that's going on at that time is, man. Now that's where the story begins, and our main character, Amuro Ray, just the reluctant hero, finds himself in the midst of this squabble, and decides and finds himself in the cockpit of a pilot suit and white base, fleeing from the Zukas, the Xi'an, from Char, and that's how the story. And so this one volume here actually contains them leaving, I think, where they designed the full the mobile suit, and these other I think these rolling ones, and they're in the white base, which is now a kind of a vessel. They call it the Trojan horse. I don't know why they call it the Trojan horse, but it is a ship that doesn't look like a warfare aircraft, but is capable of. This is the aircraft here. It's kind of reminiscent of the Millennium Falcon in a way. Has that Han Solo adventureness to it. So the story here gives you all kinds of things. So Amuro Ray is a character that to consider. He's reluctant. The cast in the white base, and Bright Noah, Sila, a lot of dynamic characters, and the dialogue is also one of the things that actually draw me into this story. So I found it very an enjoyable read, and the action and the choreography and the paneling, the way the panel tells the story is a plus, and the detail in all of these machine designs is something to marvel on. And also Char Aznable here is a fantastic character. He's unique. His depth is explored a little bit more. There's that mysteryness to it, him and Sila. So a lot of damages. It doesn't downplay the effects that war has on space and the vacuumness of the deadliness that space is. And it just shows the brute force, the habitat that, you know, the jungle is a scary place, and space is even worse. You know, it's pure. There are enemies. Human beings are fighting in space, and space itself is another enemy. It is a force that has no mercy at all. You know, one bolt missing from a machine, a flawed design. One place, you know, these scholarly cylinders, the pressure that goes into them can explode at any moment, and it depicts that to the final T. And I just liked all that, the amount of input that they put into the love. You can tell the love that was crafted into this story by reading it. Woo! Man, look at that. I'm actually liking the Zuka here. This the Red Comet. I think this is the Red Comet's Zuka, or is it a Zuko? I don't know what is. Man. So there are some colors in here, but so this is the first story, and we just the White Base just finished its re-entry into Earth, and I think the second one is gonna probably explore their because they landed in enemy territory, so I think they have to cross, go across land to go to Joboro, which is I think in the south, maybe South America. They landed in like the United States or something. So yeah, so thus far this did explain a little bit more. So if you were reluctant to actually get into the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise, this is a good way to get in and to get a feel for what the whole universe is about. What is this? What is the fuzz? What is this all about? This kind of gives that introduction, grips you, brings you into the story, and answers a lot of questions that even the first animation that back then came out, you know, kind of hints at. But this one gives a little bit more plot and more revealing, more puts the puzzles in place and begins the journey. So looking forward to reading volume 2. I'll probably check back in once I read the second volume and do maybe something like this for each volume going forward. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Mobile Suit Gundam if you read it. Otherwise, peace.